Hello again, everyone. It's time for another update. There have been several changes, continue to be several changes. We want to make sure that we're giving you the information as soon as it's readily available for us. I think it's no secret, if you're watching the news, you're listening to the radio, there has been and continues to be a spike in COVID cases throughout the community. There has also been a spike inside this facility. We were essentially keeping it at bay, and now as of this morning, we've added 3 more names to our quarantine list, which brings us to a total of 12. Not all of those are positive cases. Some of those are contact traced to positive cases outside of the facility. Right now we're waiting word from Magna as to what the mask mandate looks like. At this point, we are still on phase 2. They have not stopped us. They have not taken us backwards. And we're hoping that we get some feedback today or tomorrow that we can continue with phase 2. We need to be making sure that we're doing everything we possibly can to keep the COVID out of the facility. And if you are contact traced with someone or you do not feel well, please be honest with us. And let us handle the situation accordingly. The last thing we can afford right now is to have a massive outbreak of COVID inside the facility. We've done great through the past 16, 17 months. Let's just continue to do great things. The next thing I want to talk about is customer shutdowns or slowdowns as we're starting to see. The 558 program, we did see KTP take an additional down week a couple of weeks ago, as well as we started to see them pull at about a 66% of their normal take rate. We have made adjustments accordingly. We did not lay anyone off or let anyone take off during that time in an effort to build our inventory up. Our inventory levels were getting extremely low, and we needed to take the opportunity to build the inventory levels up. We've also seen Spring Hill take additional down weeks that come with little to no notice. We were just informed again yesterday that their 2 weeks down has now turned into 3, so they will be down again next week. And we will continue to follow that very closely and provide any updates as possible. Again, our strategy for next week is to not let anyone go or to take anyone on layoff, but to move the resources around the facility to try to fill any gaps because of the severe labor shortage that we're seeing right now. That leads me into the next portion of today's video. We have several announcements to make, hopefully all positive, but we do have several announcements to make. I'm going to go through several of those now. We will have the presentation on the side so you can read along with me. If there's any questions, comments, please don't hesitate to come see anybody in the leadership team, and we will do our best to explain those. I'm going to go over the first portion of it, and then I'm going to turn it over to Lee Isabel, our HR manager, and Lee is going to talk about some recruitment strategies on how we are going to try and get more labor inside the facility. So first thing I want to do is I want to talk about some changes that we're making to current policies and procedures and why we're making those changes. So the recruitment and retention issues that we face today are COVID issues and the government aid. I think everyone's familiar with both of those topics. It's a very competitive market these days. We understand that companies are doing things that they've not done in the past to try to attract and retain their current associates. We also recognize there is a change in employees' view of what is important: work-life balance, long-term employment recognition. Those are the things that we want to talk about and what our strategy is here at Bowling Green Metal Forming on addressing those situations. So with that, the first thing I want to announce are changes in the vacation policy. So the yearly accrual of time will stay from July to June. That will not change. New hires after 90 days will be given an allotment of 40 hours personal time off plus 1 medical day and 1 personal day. That is a change from our current policy. The second part, we will no longer force or hold employees' vacation for shutdown purposes. Vacation will be yours to use inside of the allotment per your department. We're not changing the amount of people that can be off at any given time. But we are no longer going to hold those times between July and December for what would typically have been shut down time periods. Employees who wish to use their vacation and personal time off outside of those events, if there is an event in your area and you do not have paid time off, you will be forced to take a layoff. So it's truly yours to manage. If you choose to use your days as you should, then when time comes for those layoffs or those shutdowns, you will be forced to take unemployment for those weeks. This next part and last part, employees can now carry over no more than 40 hours of unused vacation time from one year to the next, or have the option to have it paid out. So what that means is, at the end of a vacation year, if you have 60 hours of unpaid time off, and we hope that you don't, but if you do have 60 hours of unpaid time off, you can carry 40 hours of that over and get paid for 20. You can get paid out for 60. You can carry over 20 and get paid out for 40. That choice is yours, but we are now going to allow that as an option to associates. We recognize that a lot of people don't want to use all of their vacation time and would rather carry it over. Now, no more than max 40 hours can be carried over. So at the end of year 2, if you've already got 40 in reserve and you have 40 more, you would have to get paid out for that additional 40. You can only carry 40 hours over from one year to the next. The next thing we want to talk about is perfect attendance updates. So right now, the perfect attendance policy rewards $200 for 1 year, up to $700 for 5 years and beyond. We would like to make changes to that from year 1 all the way through. So perfect attendance for the first year, now you're able to acquire that sooner than what you were in the past. For every 3 months that you're perfect attendance, you're going to get $25. So for perfect attendance for 3 months, you're going to get $25. After 6 months, you'll get an additional $50. After 9 months, you'll get an additional $75. And after 12 months, you'll get an additional $100. So the first year perfect attendance now is paid out at $250 versus the $200 it was in the past. The big change is the second year and beyond, when we really want to recognize those associates that are here day in and day out, that are dedicated to be here regardless of what the situations are, and there are several of those team members in the facility. So now, moving forward, the second year and beyond, you will earn $250 for every additional 3 months of perfect attendance after 1 year. You do have the option for one personal day instead of that pay, and employees can now bank up to 3 personal days for use. So what that means is at the end of 15 months perfect attendance, you'll have the option to take a $250 paycheck, or you will be able to take a personal day that you can use somewhere in that calendar year. Now, there was also some questions on how is this going to be paid out? And we're going to top these amounts up. So when you do hit one of these milestones, the number that you see here is the number that you're going to take home in your paycheck. So the $250 will no longer be $250 with taxes taken out. It will be topped up to where you take home $250. The next thing I want to talk about is top out wage and shift premium updates. We recognize that the market is very competitive now, and we really do want to reward the team members that have been here, again, long-term employment recognition and rewards. So we are going to add $1 to all top out wages across the board. So if you're currently a 2+ year topped out employee, you're going to get the dollar on the hour increase to your wage. We're also going to increase the shift differential, which is now 50 cents for second and third shift. We're going to increase that to $1 for second shift and 75 cents for third shift. So these changes are something that we felt were very necessary. We've been working on them for quite some time, and we wanted to make sure that once we got approval, which was late yesterday afternoon, that we got these out and implemented as soon as possible. So all of these changes that we've talked about will be effective August 1st. So you will see those changes made. On the perfect attendance, one thing I think it's very important to say here is The way that you request that payout will not change. So if you're at perfect attendance, you believe you're at 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, a year, or beyond, you will still have to fill out the form to request that through your HR generalist. Once it's verified, then the payout will happen. So I wanted to add that to it. I think I did not say that before on the slide, but wanted to make sure that you knew how to request your perfect attendance payout. The last thing for me is I want to talk about the plant-wide incentive. And the plant-wide incentive, the metrics for Q2 were not the greatest in the world. In Q1, we paid out $105. In Q2, by the metrics, we would pay out $90 on the plant-wide incentive. With that being said, again, we want to recognize the hard work and dedication of the employees during the second quarter. BGM has decided to add an additional $160 to the second quarter payout for those eligible. To be eligible, you must be a full-time employee for at least 30 days of the quarter. The total amount will be $250 for the second quarter for those who are eligible. So those are several changes. I understand I walked through that fairly quickly. Again, the slides are going to be there. The video is going to be posted. But if there's any questions at all, please do not hesitate to come talk to one of us for clarification. We have talked to the employee advocate, so he does know that these changes are there, and he should be able to help you through those as well. That's going to be it for me today. I'm going to turn it over to Lee. Lee's going to talk about some partnerships that we have. He's also going to talk about some recruitment strategies that his team is putting together in an effort to do everything we possibly can to get team members in the facility and recognize those team members that continue to show their support for Bowling Green Metal Forming. And we want to show our support right back to those employees. So again, thank you to everyone. We appreciate all the hard work and dedication as we continue to navigate through this very challenging and very difficult year. Thank you again.
All right, good evening, everybody. As Doug mentioned before, I'm the new HR manager, Lee Isabel. I'd like to go over a few things with you, a few initiatives that we're doing here in order to increase recruitment and also retention here at the facility. As everybody knows, these are unprecedented times. I think if you look at everything that's happened as far as COVID is concerned and as far as other things out in the community, every facility is having a hard time bringing employees in and hiring employees. We are no different. So we are doing some things to be really creative from that end. We're also doing some things really creative on the retention side. So one of the first things I'd like to talk about today on the recruitment side is a new hire signing bonus of $2,500. That new hire signing bonus starts out at $250 for the first 30 days, $500 for 90 days, $750 at 180 days, and then $1,000 after 1 year. So we looked at these levels and we felt like this is a good place for us to be in reference to a signing bonus in order to attract employees to come here onto the site. So this leads into the next slide I'd like to talk about, which is recruitment, referral bonus, and job fairs. We realize that there's a push to bring employees inside the facility. Because of that, we use several different agencies here in order to recruit. In addition to the agencies that we already utilize, we have decided to add 3 more agencies onto our roster. These new agencies will help to basically market into areas which we normally don't get our message out into. So we feel that by adding these different agencies to the roster that we currently have, this will help improve the amount of people that we can bring inside the site. In addition to that, I'd like to remind everybody about the referral bonus and bringing new employees on site here. There is this $1,000 referral bonus that we have, as everybody has already knows about and is aware of. The $1,000 is $500 after 30 days of employment for those employees that come in. And then after the 3-month introductory period, there's another $500 that's paid out for a total of $1,000 if you bring somebody in and they're hired on completely. In addition to that, BGM is also participating in several different job fairs that we have on site. So, or outside, external. So you will be aware of those different job fairs coming up. As you know about those, be sure to get the message out in the community to your friends or family who might be interested in possible jobs here. I think it's a great opportunity to come out and see what skill sets they have and see if they can help us. I'm I'm proud to announce a partnership with the Bowling Green Hot Rods. The Hot Rods are a minor league baseball team here in the community, and they're very good. As part of the partnership with the Hot Rods, one of the first things you will notice is our sign, Bowling Green Metal Forming in the outfield. In addition, there will be in-game events that will be sponsored by Bowling Green Metal Forming. This also includes in our partnership tickets which we will disperse for recruiting purposes the first year, and the second and third year we will have drawings here at the facility to give those tickets out, and also raffles to give those tickets out to employees here. We feel this is a great opportunity to recognize BGM in the community and also a way to reward our employees for their hard work and dedication. Bowling Green Metal Forming is partnered with Beach Bend during this unprecedented time. Normally we have a company picnic. However, because of the gathering restrictions due to COVID, we're unable to do that this year. Because of this, Bowling Green Metal Forming has worked out a deal with Beach Bend Park to give all employees 4 tickets to be utilized by their families at their leisure. The tickets will be given out in the front cafeteria starting tomorrow, July the 30th, and Monday, August the 2nd. The times for giving out those tickets will be third shift, 5 to 7 a.m., first shift, 8:30 to 12 p.m., and second shift, 1 to 3 p.m. Again, we'd like to thank everybody for their hard work and dedication. We hope that these changes are viewed as favorable, and we look forward to working with you in the future.